So, um, I've been going through some stuff lately. Everything from a complete lack of motivation, um, dealing with a lot of depression, a lot of stress, and it comes in. This has got to go down. This is too loud. This is too loud. There we go. So, yeah, I've I've been dealing with a whole lot of depression, a lot of stress, a lack of motivation, and everything. I have bipolar depression. And it has made doing YouTube difficult, which is why you might see me pop up every once in a while and do something. I'll pop in, do a little something, something, and then I'm gone. And then you don't see me for days. Or something will happen, like a hurricane. But I am unreliable because of I assume because of the depression. It makes me just, hell, there's days I don't want to get up out of bed. I forced myself out of bed. Otherwise, I just want to lay there. I want to lay there and I don't want to do anything, you know? Um Depression is a bitch. I know it's a horrible thing to have, to cope with. And I feel shitty because I feel like I I, I have people that have subscribed, and so it feels like a handshake, and I'm not and a deal was made, and I would do content, and I'm failing my side of the deal. So I have so many people that have subscribed to me, and I love it. I appreciate it, but I don't know what to do. That's part of the other problem. I'm very indecisive. I have no idea what I'm doing. Early on, I was doing a lot, but I was still taking an antidepressant at the time. It was killing me, but I was taking an antidepressant at the time. Um, so recently, that is to say a few minutes ago, I deleted I deleted and removed my Discord server. It was mostly empty. There was like four people, I think, something like that. Me and four other people. I didn't really see them on it very often. Um, it started to look stupid. It just started to feel stupid. It felt very pointless, and it had to go. It's just like one less thing to stress over, you know? And there are times where I feel that way about my YouTube. If you go back and look at a lot of my early videos, I had a lot going on. I would rage about things, and people love the rage, but I can't rage anymore, really. I'll have a rage on live stream whenever somebody shows up and gives me a hard time, but I don't feel passion anymore. So I don't passionately rage about topics anymore. I'm constantly looking at what I'm doing and going, is this the right thing to do? Do I look stupid doing this? Why should I do this? Is this gonna be what people want to see? Why? And I've had people before just say, do what you just want to do. Just do what you want to do. It doesn't work that way. If you want a channel to grow, you can't just do what you want to do. That's not gonna bring people in. And I'm trying to grow my base big time. Trying to. But what I was trying to say is, more recently, I've started looking at YouTube the same way I looked at my Discord. What's the point? What is the point? And you have to chase an algorithm sometimes, and people really were passionate about the whole cartoon thing, and that, there's two things that get people to want to watch your content: topics that are controversial and topics that, lucky enough, you find out a lot of people are passionate about. Cartoons aren't my passion, really. They're just one facet of me, of the person that is me. I like cartoons, so I talked about it. Thought it was worth talking about. But now I don't know. And between having trouble getting sleep, having a brother living with me, which I really, 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 and people have suggested just kicking him out, just getting him out, just kick him out. He'll figure things out if he's got nowhere to go. I can't do that. I can't do that to family. All right, I'm not heartless, but at the same time, it does feel a little like it feels a little like he's not doing right. But the point of that, the whole point of it is he's he's part of my stress, and and I miss kind of living in this house by myself. I lived in this house alone for a year. My brother was staying with some with a woman that he was dating. She ended up kicking him out. She was a cheater. She cheated on him and kicked him out. It's her fault that he had to move back in with me. He has property next door, but he he doesn't have anything to live in over there. He had something to live in, and he was moving into it. It was an RV, and he was moving into it. And then the storms hit. First, the storms that came out of the northwest, that came through Texas, and just insane winds. It felt like a hurricane almost. It felt more like a hurricane than the hurricane. Because eventually we did get a hurricane not long ago. Hurricane Beryl. But the storms that came in from the northwest caused a lot of trees to come down. One came down on my brother's property and crushed his RV he was going to move into. He was moving into it, actually. He had just started moving into it. And then this first storm came. The winds were so powerful, the whole RV was rocking back and forth real bad. He got worried. He got what little he had in it. He moved out, came back over here, and started staying here again until the storm was over. So then he went back. Then after the storms cleared up and everything, he was able to get on his property. And yeah, a tree had just decimated his RV that he was moving into. He's been fighting with FEMA, trying to get into it or get help, either like replacing it with a camper or getting the money and getting a house, something along those lines. And so far, it's been an uphill struggle. There was a time FEMA would walk up, see a tree going through your home, and be like, "Oh, oh yeah, no, we gotta, ooh, we're gonna go ahead and help you." But now it's a struggle. It's a struggle to get help. And then they're like, "Well, here's all these resources. You want to get your home insured. You want to get insurance on your home. It's expensive." It's like we can't afford it. I haven't got insurance on my home or anything on my property because you can't afford it. That's why FEMA has to help so many people. I mean, our country is geared towards the wealthy and corporations. We don't help people. We don't really want to help people. But the long and short of that whole situation is my brother, he, if he can get help and get him something to live in over there, I can get him out of my house. Then I can start sleeping a regular schedule. I can start sleeping like a normal fucking human being without him waking me up consistently and constantly. Because that's been one of my struggles. That's what's been one of my problems. And it sucks. I was so excited. Like, I had this genuine excitement just before getting fiber. I was like, finally, finally, fiber. Finally, finally, I'll be able to do content with a better, better quality, picture quality and everything. But then motivation is hard. And when you have outside sources just fucking up your health, it makes it even harder. I hate it. I hate it a lot. I hate it more than anything else. But I love my brother, and I can't just force him out. It wouldn't go over well with my entire family. I would have my entire family barreling down on me. They would come and they would just mow my ass over. You don't understand. I don't think anybody understands how complicated things can be with family. It's not as simple as just saying, get the hell out. I can't do it. I wouldn't want that done on me if the shoe was on the other foot. So, yeah, all those things have culminated into me struggling, me being frustrated, me having difficulties doing things. And I have seriously thought about just deleting the channel. I've thought about just removing tons of content and throwing in the towel. I mean, look at my background. If you knew how much stuff is in this little house, it's a very small house. This house is tiny. It's not even a house. It's like an apartment and a piece of an apartment with a roof on it, and not a very big apartment. A small apartment. If you've ever seen small apartments, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's a small house. 2 bedrooms. There's no living room. There's no dining room. There is one room for everything. Literally everything. The dining room, kitchen, and living room are all one room. It's so fucking ridiculous. I can't even begin to express how ridiculous and frustrating it is. So it's so tiny, and between me and my brother, there's so much stuff cluttering this house that's personal. People would accuse us of being hoarders. We're not hoarders. It's just that we have two people who have their entire lives packed into a single house, a single little house, and no one helping us. And I have days where I want to be a beggar. There's days where I want to sit here and go and start being like DSP. There's days where I want to be like DSP and just start begging. I just want to beg. He gets some money. He gets more money than I get. I don't get anything, really. Once in a while, I get a donation, a very small donation. And it's been a while. And the last time I was getting donations was from Lord Blazer. And I had to do stupid crap to get it. Crap that just got on my nerves after a while. It's like, no, I shouldn't have to do this to get a donation or anything. I shouldn't have to. It's just it's a pain in the ass, and I could be doing more productive things than sitting here and doing this stuff. So yeah, a lot of stuff is dried up. And like I said, I don't like being a beggar. I don't want to be like DSP. And I've had few people be like, "No, you're not like DSP. Don't worry about it. You're not like, no, I see the signs." I mean, I really went off on some people the other night about stuff. I don't like blocking people. I don't like banning people. I hate it. I hate it so much. I really don't like banning or blocking anybody. But there are people out there that are vile. Look, I'm gonna say this to the fella that I blocked, because I can't even remember their name now. But to the fella that maybe it's still on Discord, tried to send a thing. I don't see them now. Okay, they're unblocked on Discord. If they remember my name on Discord, they can try and communicate with me. But to that person, look, to that person, I blocked you because it felt like I was set up. It felt like you made a fool of me. Because those guys over at that podcast or whatever didn't know anything about me. They knew nothing. I felt so stupid. And it didn't do me any favors. My channel didn't grow from that. I was just a sideshow put on the spot. And then the guys didn't really handle themselves professionally. No offense, guys, but you did not handle things professionally. You shouldn't have just had everybody flood in there and just let everybody in. You should have kept going one at a time. Because then I wouldn't have been put on the spot by that rando. Like, you asked him if he had questions. I assumed you meant questions for all of you. Figure It Out. What is it? The Figure It Out podcast. I figured he was going to ask questions to you guys, questions for you guys. I didn't think he would turn around and ask me a question. I was a guest just like him. That put me on the spot too. It's like I didn't want to talk about that subject at the time at all. Like that subject just. I have since changed my stance on that whole subject, and I don't support it anymore. Like, I supported that subject before because that subject, and I won't go into too many details, it wasn't like the way I looked at it wasn't real. It was drawings. But I've since changed my I don't know how to say this. I've since changed my stance. And I don't support it anymore. So, if that makes anybody feel any better, I don't. But I shouldn't have been put on the spot like that. You shouldn't have let everybody just flood in like that. That was ridiculous. Why did you let people flood in like that? And I should have been smart, and I should have been like, nah. Now, you let me go. You let me know when you guys want me in. I'm not coming in with the rest of everybody else. And then another thing that made it pretty unprofessional was having that one guy from the Discord come in and shouting at everybody. You guys are like a fucking sideshow. It's not professional at all. You guys really got to get your act together. I hope you're not doing that anymore. I haven't paid attention. I really haven't paid attention to it. I haven't paid attention to the podcast. But you guys don't need to do that again. Don't let just a bunch of people come in. That's not the right way to handle it. I think it's better just to have one person at a time. Or lay down some rules. Look, if you have questions for us, ask questions to us. Do not question other people here. All right? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't want to. I didn't like being put on the spot like that. I felt embarrassed to the guy who acted like he acted like he set the whole thing up. He didn't talk to those guys. I really don't think he talked to them guys at all. Yeah, he didn't talk to those guys. He just directed me toward those guys. He didn't do anything. So they didn't know anything about me. And that made me feel even more terrible. Like why would you just point me to them, say you talked to them or act like you set something up, but you didn't set anything up. You didn't. And that's why I was upset and angry and that's why I blocked you. And I would unblock you right now if I didn't think you'd go off on me. And if I didn't think other people would flow in behind you and go off on me. I don't need it. I don't want it. And I really don't feel like I deserve it. So, with everything that has gone on, it's not a wonder at all. There's no wondering at all why I would want to just delete my YouTube channel. I would want to just give up on this. There's a lot of stress involved. But here's the thing, if I give up on it, I'm proving Rich, Review Tech USA, I'm proving him right. Because he said I couldn't handle YouTube, and I don't want to prove him right. Because from where I'm sitting and for what I'm seeing with him, he's the one who can't really handle it. He can't handle a lot of things with YouTube. So he has no room to talk. I've watched him. I've watched him just going off about stuff. Rich, you're no better than me. And I would hope that you realize this. I would hope that you realize, yeah, I would hope that you would realize that you lose your cool too easily. I'd lose mine too easily. I don't have a lot of room to talk. But if you're going to act like you're better than other people, you got to be able to back it up, is what I'm trying to say. And you can't. I've seen you. You don't handle things very well. So you don't have room to talk when you tell me that I can't handle this. In fact, that's what's kept me going doing this channel. I want to prove that I can handle this. I want to prove him wrong. The guy that told me to shut the fuck up on Twitter when I showed any sort of care. Tried to show him that I cared. He's not the right person to try and be friends with. I feel like, and this is probably I'm going to end this on this. I feel like it's a bad idea for viewers to get involved with YouTubers. And I think that's why you have people like PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye and Markiplier. That's why they don't get involved with smaller YouTubers or even YouTube viewers. They get involved with and they talk to other big YouTubers. And that's to prevent a lot of issues, really. A lot of drama, a lot of stress. Because it is bad when you try to be friends with and get to know your audience. It doesn't work. So that's why a lot of YouTubers are very distant. If you want to know why why there are YouTubers who are distant with their viewers and they're just like, just come watch me. That's it. That's why it never really works out. I won't name names here, but it didn't feel like it worked out with some people I knew. It doesn't feel like it's working out. But part of that is me. I've got issues. I've got issues from hell and back. And I'm not saying nobody else has issues, but Like my issues are part of what screws things up. It's part of why I don't have friends. It is. It's part of why there's no friends for me. It's part of why I've lost every friend that I've ever had. And it pains me to talk about it because I want to cry just thinking about it. I mean, by now I should have already gotten married. Should have already had at least a kid. But there's no woman this day and age who wants a guy like me. But yeah, I'm ending on that. If you're a YouTuber and you're trying to make it big, don't get too close to your fans. It's a bad idea. It just doesn't work. Especially if you're like me and you have depression and whatnot and minor schizophrenia and what is it called? What is that word? Uh, Paranoia. If you have any issues with paranoia, that's part of my issues. I have a lot of paranoia. It feels like people are out to get me, or out to do me harm, or out to do horrible shit to me. And that's how it felt with that one guy I blocked. He knows who he is. It felt like he was actually just out to get me, out to harm me, out to cause me grief or whatever. So I blocked him. That's how it's been my entire life, is to block, out of sight, out of mind, move on when things get real rough or when situations like that happen. I had a situation once when I had a few times actually where I was younger and I thought there was these girls that I thought one of them was interested in me. They were all just kind of acting like she was into me, and no, she wasn't actually into me. She thought it'd be funny to fuck with my emotions. And it's a similar situation, it felt like, with the whole pot going on the Figure It Out podcast and everything. It felt like I was being made a fool of. Like they just got off on messing with my mind. That one person. And I was like, I that's why I blocked them. I didn't want to deal with that. Anyhow, this has been the goof. I tried to make this shorter than it is, but there was no way to make it shorter than it is. Hopefully you'll sit through it. Have a good one.